Let's have a look at some portable VCRs. We've got two here that are more or less the same thing but from different regions. We've got the National NV-3000 portable VCR. We've got a training manual for it. Tells you all of the good stuff. And then we also got the Panasonic OmniVision PV-3000, I think that's what they call this. Oh, yeah, it's only written on the bottom, PV-3000. These things are really heavy. It's surprisingly heavy for a portable VCR. So we've got a training manual. We don't have a service manual. So this is the PAL version, and then this is an NTSC one. So this tells you all of the technical information that will allow service technicians to understand and service a Panasonic video tape recorder NV-3000. I'm not sure what kind of very early 80s by the look of it. So it tells you about how VHS recording works, and then it's got a lot of circuit descriptions. It's all nice, smooth paper, high quality stuff. All well explained there. Mechanical stuff, block diagrams, mechanical description, difference of mechanism. The mechanism found in the new portable VCRs, NV-3000 series, differs drastically from former ones, the 8610 series. They have very compact sized chassis and have no solenoids. So the former type. Different. I don't know, I have not seen an NV-8610. Not come across those. Well, I might have seen one but missed out on it because, yeah, don't always manage to get everything that you see available. Anyway, these things used to work and now they don't. Pretty sure they don't. Because I remember this Panasonic one, NTSC, was in really good working order, and then later on it wasn't. So it's more or less the same, except that the NTSC one has a long play, short play, super long play, and I think that's the only difference here. No, actually, there's a frame advance button on this one, a quick slow button on this one. I guess whether it's paused or not, you can make it go quicker or slower. The tracking control on the front, remote control, plug earphones, mechanical eject, electronic buttons for the rest of the stuff, audio dub, power switch there, a mechanical counter with a memory, battery level gauge. On the side, we've got audio out, audio video in and out, BNC's on the PAL version, an RF out, camera connector, 10-pin camera connector, microphone connector, and then power supply, and then the battery goes in there, and there's a little connector in there where that connects on. Now the point of this thing is to go with a video camera, a camera that connects into there and allows you to record something on the go from your video camera. I have what's probably a period correct camera for this. Got a national color video camera WV3030, and this is, it's got power zoom with this control here, which will move that zoom control, but everything else is manual. Manual focus, manual white balance. You can choose whether you're indoors or outdoor, and there's a check, but yeah, you adjust the white balance by turning these knobs here. And there's an on-off switch, there's an external mic connector, the built-in mic is here, and that's it. There isn't much else going on here. So it's got a nice CRT viewfinder. So I reckon we should try one of these out with the camera and everything. But let's look at another thing. So you take this, you put the battery in this, you take it out, you record stuff onto a regular VHS tape. and then when you come back home, you connect it up to this thing here, which is hiding. This is an electronic tuner timer. So this is the rest of the stuff that would turn this into a normal VCR. So it's got the clock on it with the timer and the tuner, and yeah, the controls for VCR things. And maybe this one doesn't, but newer ones, this is where the infrared remote would be received by. But I don't think this is a bit old for that. So that's I think this is a PV-300, is that right? Oh, it's a PV-A32. I thought the NV one was an NV-300, I don't know. I thought that was mentioned here. No, I think that's... Anyway, I don't know. I've got this one here, which is the NTSC one that goes with that PV-3000 VCR. So perhaps we should use that to try it out. So the cords, the cables from these have gone really horrible and sticky. I've wiped these down because they're all juicy looking from, I'm guessing, the plastic degrading from the cables. And yeah, it's all gone mushy. It's not very nice to touch. And we've also got another thing here, which if you didn't have or didn't want the tuner timer to turn it into a normal VCR, you can get just the standard AC adapter, which allows you to charge the battery, and then it's got that 4-pin DIN plug on it to like power the VCR. So let's hook this up to the... So the tuner thing goes in where the camera would connect, because that way it can provide video, send and receive, and audio for recording. It goes up the other way, there you go. So let's give this... Oh no, look at that. That juicy stuff is coming out of the plug as well. It's like it's... I don't know, it's going very gross. What can I use that's an easy reach to clean that off? So I think the wire inside the cables is degrading as well as the insulation on the outside. Okay. Look at that. The clock's turned on. Power's on. TV VTR mode, timer mode, the tuner, good mechanical tuner. That's what we like to see. Now, does this start up? Sounds like it does. Oh, we're going to take the cover off before we try out the tape mechanism. Can't just try that out without being able to witness what's going on. I'm making such a mess of all these things here. Okay, so take the top off, and then there's 2 screws on the back. I think that might be it for holding the top cover on. Let's find out. So it's nice and easy to get into. Get it somewhere where you can see. Okay. Oh, light bulb. A light bulb for the end sensing. That could be blown. Let me get that out of the way. Some sort of shielding thing. Okay, now we can see what's going on. Let's chuck a tape in and see what happens. Throw fast forward. Yeah, fast forward good. Rewind. A little bit disappointing. Yeah, I guess the belt is ruined, because now it's just stuck trying to do something. You can hear it running. Yeah, I guess a loading belt. Oh, the light bulb works. Yeah, it can't finish the loading sequence. Alright, let's take this apart a bit more and have a look inside, and maybe if it's easy we'll sort out a slipping belt and then see if we can get it into play mode again. But we're going to have to start getting serious with this. Get other stuff out of the way first. Put that over there for now. Okay, so we're gonna have to take the bottom off. Oh, look at all that good stuff. Flexible boards going around the corner. Metal covers. This is probably some very early double-sided board, maybe. Yeah, I think when I saw this before, I had some vague memories that I might have had to fix that. Maybe? Don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of another machine. You can see there's cracks in the board. It's got color, circuit, and audio on that board. Okay. What do we do to get the front off? Let me just pull it. It's just some clips. Then, does this come off? Yes, more clips. Or not. Oh yeah, more clips. Okay, so that pulls down. Some red screws at the bottom. 2 wires that need, 2 cables, connectors that need undoing. Look at that. Folds out really nicely for servicing. That's brilliant. I'm guessing there's belts there. Red coloured belt. Yeah, so presumably those have gone bad. Can we try this again without making too much of a mess? I'm guessing all we have to plug in is this, the 4-pin one for the power. The eject. Now what's play? Maybe that one? Maybe that was needed. Oh, look, you can unpeel it. Oh yeah, it looks like that was needed. Okay. Go, we're in play mode. Sort of. Chewing the tape, but... well, that's good. Sort of. I think this is this machine from back in the day that if you wanted to fast forward or rewind, it had to stop. Didn't support Q or review modes. Now this won't be able to produce a picture because that's a PAL tape that I stuck in, because it's that kind of throwaway tape that I don't care if it gets munted. But let's see if there's any kind of waveform coming out of it. Yeah, it's doing a little bit of stuff. I wonder if we should risk putting that really nice Sony tape in there that I know has got some NTSC stuff on it. Did bring it over for this occasion. This good one, good quality tape. Oh, it's playing fine. Oh, maybe it does work. Look at that. Oh, my memory of this thing was that it was completely ruined and didn't work anymore. But it seems like it works. Alright, perhaps we'll put it back together carefully and preserve it. Don't know what the state of capacitors leaking is or are. Nice, so it's a working machine. Well, if that belt was replaced, then it would be working. Let's see what the still frame advance thing is like. It doesn't seem to advance. You see, there's no super still or super fine slow on this thing. It's just stop the tape moving, and wherever it lands is just what you get. Tracking's pretty good, it's right in the center. Okay, that's a surprise. It works, and the picture is pretty nice and clear. So if we hit fast forward, you see it will unload the tape. And then get stuck because... oh, there we go. Actually got into fast forward mode. Yeah, so it's just the loading motor slipping. Wow, there you go. Who would have thought? PV-3000 VCR, still in somewhat acceptable working condition. Let's have a look at the other one. Now that had to get tied up in there somehow. It's gonna make a mess, isn't it? Just munch that in there. It's gonna have to be put in properly. It's still no good. That thing is bent weirdly. Seems like it's always been in the way because it's kind of damaged a bit from being squashed. Okay, there were some red screws here. Oh, I didn't really look at the board very much. Oh well, we'll do that in the other machine, the National brand one. We'll just pushes down. That will just clips on. Good. Pretty easy. What else do we have to do? Put the bottom on. Then we'll move it out of the way. There we go. Seems like this has been designed for serviceability. It's all kind of nice. Kind of nice. It's all nice. That one doesn't look like it wants to go in. There we go. Alright, look at this. We try the National one. It's got a handle, whereas the other one it just has whatever it had, like stud things for mounting a shoulder strap to. Okay. Take the top off. Now we got the shielding thing again. Looks like you just undo those screws a little bit and it will slide out. That's nice. Alright, let's plug this in and see what it does. Or doesn't do. Power on. Put in a tape. Fast forward. Yes. Whoa, no brakes. Rewind. No. It might be slipping a play. Nope. Okay, we're gonna have to take this apart more, and I'm guessing it's the same thing again, that belt on the bottom is slipping. But we'll take a little look at the circuit boards and things along the way. We should look inside the tuner as well. Oh, and we've also got to try it with the camera just to see if the camera does anything. To try all of the things. It's a different colored board. It's got different type of through-hole platey thingies in it. Like actual plated through things. There's board on the side, which is audio and color. What good stuff has that got? The usual sort of stuff from back in the very early 80s. It's like more than 40 years old. Like 45 years old. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? Especially that other one is still working. Barely anything done to it. Okay, same kind of deal. Alright, let's hook the camera up to it. I'll hook a video out to it. I wonder if this warms up the heaters like the other one did. I'll put the camera on standby. Presumably it will do that. I'll put the VCR on, and then we hook up a video output, and then we wait for it to warm up. It's not going to take that long. Alright, let's turn on the camera. The camera might not work. Well, the viewfinder's come on. Oh no, look, here we go. Just took time to do things. Look at that beautiful picture. Wow, there's your white balance. Wonderful. It's a bit how you're doing. Yeah, well, oh, maybe there was a bad connection somewhere. Anyway, that's the camera. Let's see if we can get this thing into play mode. Oh, the loading mode is not turning at all. And I guess this has got some kind of other problem then. It's actually that wire there that's holding this thing open. Yeah, the head spins up, the capstan's turning, but there's no loading activities at all. Let's see if we put it in. Yeah, the loading mode works because it can deal with going into other modes, but not for play. I guess that's some kind of system control issue where it's sad about life. That's a little bit unfortunate. So when you push eject, it pushes in there. I guess it's pushing that. Okay. Yeah, when I was doing it, I was pulling on that thing because I wasn't sure what you're supposed to move. But it's the same as pushing on that thing there. Alright, so this one's in not as good shape. Camera though, awesome camera. We'll take this camera apart in another session. See what good stuff that's got going on inside it. That is quite bizarre that it won't go into play mode. I think if I cover up the light, it will think that there's a tape in. I think you got to cover the end sensors because the ambient light is going to affect it. Alright, there's your camera. There's a VCR. Wow, let's look at it a bit closer. So we've got some kind of bodged in ground wire there. It's like soldered on to the bottom, but yoinking the board. Don't know what that's all about. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of good things on here. Just seeing if there's any notable date codes on any of these parts. They're all Japanese parts, so they won't have a Western date. Look at all that good stuff. That's a whole VCR's worth of stuff there. So it looks like we've got system control on the front here with some microcontroller, Matsushita brand, then various logic chips around it. Got this, it's got a flex, like heat staked onto it, that then, yeah, look at that. Goes to the control panel, that has a little bit of stuff on it, not a huge amount. Then I think the video, is it all audio? There's audio stuff there, maybe that's more audio stuff. It's sealed up. I think that's the video heads there coming into that middle box. And that there, I think, is the RF modulator. There's a cable coming out the corner of it that looks like it will go up to the RF out plug. Yeah, this here. Yes, that's the RF modulator. That'll be the head switching part. The audio there, more audio, probably. And then the rest will be some servo stuff and the video processing. Ah, there are leaking capacitors that are wrecking the board. Maybe that's why it's not doing some things. Yeah, there's some mush there. There is some corrosion there, in that corner there. Okay, so this one's a bit on its way out due to capacitors. Interesting, the Panasonic one didn't have that. Maybe it's from a different year, different batch, and they are slightly better. Maybe there's waiting, yeah, corrosion there. So it has, unfortunately, got a bit wrecked by the capacitors leaking. You can see there corroded tracks, and yeah, these are very delicate board. They put a lot of warnings in the service manuals for the portable VCRs of this era, especially around the through-hole platings that they use, which isn't really plating, it's some kind of not very conductive or high current carrying capability material that's been inserted into the hole, because they say in the service manual, if you touch it with a soldering iron, you'll destroy it. If you put too much current through it, you'll blow it clear. And yeah, these early through-hole boards are not all that reliable. Look, it says servo there, so that must be the servo part. There's video there, that must be the video part. It says still there, so that must be the still part. And there's corrosion there, so that must be the corrosion part. Ah, power. Okay, that says power there. So there's probably some converters under there, switching converters for good efficiency, especially needed when you're running on batteries. Oh, and all over there. Okay, there's a fair bit of corrosion in this area on this board. Alright, so a bit of work needed to get that back into perfect order. And if we have a look at the bottom of the mechanism, you can see loading motor comes in there. Some intermediate pulley goes over to here, and that drives everything. Then we've got the capstan motor, shaft comes down the corner there, goes to that capstan flywheel, and then up here to drive the reels. And then those mechanical bits and pieces controls the brakes, the pinch roller and other bits and pieces. Some like limit switch thingies there. Ah, look, the motor driver for the head motor is in there. You can see the heatsink on the top of the driver IC, and the capstan motor in these is a DC motor, so it won't have a whole driver thing with it. It'll have a speed control, which might be here. Let's have a look at that. Ah, that's the driver for the loading motor. Oh, you can't see again. Don't zoom in too far. Yeah, so that board there, there's the wires that go to the loading motor. So there must be like an H-bridge thingy there to drive that in either direction. There is a power resistor soldered in with bits of wire. I wonder if that's some bodge I did to replace some other resistor, I guess. That's weird. Looks like the kind of thing I'd do. Speed sensing here, and the wires from the capstan motor, where do they go? It might come down under here, I think to there maybe? No, I think it's that. Yeah, capstan motor plugs in there, and then that will trundle off somewhere in the circuit. Is there a name on this board? Doesn't look like it. It's made in Japan, 6400 series. So that's for like the designated prefix. I think it's just a little motor driver thing for the loading motor. Video head, soft eject thingy there. I think we've seen before with the planetary gears in it to slow that down a little bit. Alright, well there's your NV-3000 VCR. Let's have a look inside the timer unit to finish off. Just unplug the power from that so that it's going to be good. Well, so that it's going to be safe for opening up. Yeah. Oh, we didn't look at the back of the timer. That's pretty self-explanatory. So you got to put the RF in from the VCR to there, and then it will switch it in line with your TV aerial going to your TV, and then taps off of that aerial signal for the tuner. And yeah, look, they provide an outlet so you can plug in another device to that, unswitched up to 300 watts. So that could go to your TV. Ah, and in the top there is the tuner controls, all manually tuned by twiddling these variable resistors and selecting the band that you want it to be in for each channel individually. Easy stuff. Don't even need to get out the manual to know how to tune that. You just twiddle the one until you get the station you're after. Oh, that good stuff. Power transformer, power board. Let's see, does this thing come off and show us what's underneath it? I think it's just the RF business. Oh, look at that. Oh, you can see all the juicy stuff down there where the multi-core camera cable thing comes in. Yes, there's a heatsink around there for the regulator. Then the RF stuff for the tuner. This doesn't have another RF modulator, and it's just the tuner. Just that stuff there. Reference voltages will come in on one of these cables depending on which you've selected at the front. I think this one has changeable numbers if you can work out how to get it out. The little labels that show up can be exchanged, so you can put the channel numbers that you want in there by popping those little thingies out. Beautiful stuff. And then VFD in there, and a little microcontroller display driver thing for it. All good stuff. guess we'll put this one back together to preserve it, since it goes with that still functioning VCR. I think they say in the manual you're not supposed to put the VCR on top of the tuner because a lot of heat comes out of the tuner and that will upset the nice VCR. So be careful. Although that's such a logical way of assembling the system. Anyway, there were some portable VCR with tuner combinations from other manufacturers that had the VCR mechanically attached to the side of the tuner, so you couldn't put it in the wrong position. You were morally obligated to put it together correctly. Either the VCR slid into it or it like clipped itself onto the side. Yeah, I think we lost that shielding because its little retention bit fell off. I'll put this back in. Try not to ruin things too much by putting this back together. I think that's okay. And then there were 3 red screws for that. Put a longer one here. Guess that's where it was meant to go because it's got to go through a circuit board as well. And what about this back one? Yeah, that's a pretty shallow screw. It does not want to do up anymore. Oh no, it's okay. Cover? Sort of. Good. There you go. Time, or whatever you're supposed to do at the end of that. There's a look at both the Panasonic and the National PV-3000 and NV-3000 respectively VHS portable VCRs, and a little look at the timer tuner thing, the probably camera that it would have been sold with at the time. And yeah, this worked, which is interesting and unexpected. I thought it was ruined. National one was ruined. Capacitors leaked. Anyway, thanks for watching. Next time I think we will look at the NV-100, which is what? I don't think it is the next one in the series up, but it's the next one that I have in this series. So perhaps we'll take a look through that. I've got a whole stack of them, and I've never had one that worked. So maybe that's saying something about the design of those. So we'll see you then. Good 55-minute single take video.